From Team
Geeks.
From Team Geeks, yeah. Hi, I'm Toby here from Team Geeks, and today I'm going to show you my Saber build. I've used this in tournaments before in my locals and got to top 8 with them, but I haven't really taken them any further than that. While I'm aware that there are Saber builds that are far more solid than this and probably better for tournaments in regionals and stuff, my deck focuses a lot on playing around with other card effects. Like, there's a lot of tech choices in here that I use. So I'm going to start off fairly simply with the king of the deck, 3 Saber Fault Troll. Fault Troll is a great card. When you have 2 Sabers on the field, you can special summon him from the hand, and then once per turn he can revive an Saber from the grave. This provides you with loads and loads of synchro options, because by that point you've already got 2 other Sabers on the field, plus whatever you bring back. And with this guy and some of the other cards, you can do some very broken loops. So, okay, moving on. 3, double Saber, 4 Helm Knight. 4 Helm Knight is just a little warrior of the deck. He's a tuner, level 3, 1300 base attack. He can negate 1 attack while he's on the field to an Saber monster. So if he goes to the grave after he's already used his ability and you bring him back with Fault Troll, you get his ability again because it's once while he's on the field. Also, when he destroys a defense position monster, you can revive one of your fallen level 4 or lower Sabers. So that's extremely useful for keeping your field full. The other tuners are 2 Saber Pashul. Pashul is an amazing defense and stall card. You play him face down in defense mode normally, and when your opponent attacks it, it's not destroyed by battle. There is a downside, which is you have to pay 1000 attack during each of your opponent's standby phases, but hopefully he shouldn't really be on the field long enough for that to happen. He should be straight into a big synchro. The only other tuner monster is 1 Saber Airbellum. Airbellum just really keeps the balance of tuners to non-tuners up in this deck, while also having an amazing effect, which is when he deals life point damage, he can discard 1 card from your opponent's hand, which obviously gives you a really good advantage. And if you're dealing direct damage with Airbellum, you'll be at an advantage anyway, generally speaking. So it just keeps you in that lead. Okay, the searches of the deck. 3 Saber Emma's Blades. They're your basic searcher monster. When they're destroyed, you get 1 Saber monster, level 4 or lower, special summon to the field. And the other type of searcher is 3 Saber Dark Soul. But what Dark Soul does is when he's sent to the grave during the end phase, you get any Saber of any level to your hand from the deck. And this can be really useful. Once he's died once and you have Fault Troll on the field, you can bring him back, use him as a tuner monster, and give yourself that backup hand in case things go wrong. Okay. Next up, double Saber Boggart Knight. Speaking of backup hands, he's kind of the guy you want in your hands for backup in case things go badly, because he'll allow you to flood the field with an immediate 2 Sabers. When he's normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Saber from your hand. The only problem with this guy is he can only be synchroed into Saber monsters, which doesn't make him amazing when you want to go into big synchros, but he is good for setting up fields. Okay, so these are more of the tech choices that most people would probably be running Super Nimble Mega Hamster over or something like that. 2 double Saber Ragigia. When you've got him from the synchros, I'll show you later, you can get this thing called the Fault Troll loop, which, if you don't know about, allows you to destroy your opponent's entire hand, and will leave you with a pretty decent field. And I say 2, not 1, just because if those Fault Trolls go to the grave, you really need them back in your hand. That's where they need to be. I know a lot of people say 2 Fault Trolls, not 3, because it clogs the hand. I've rarely ever had this issue. With this deck, you need those Fault Trolls in the hand. The other big tech choice that lots of people disagree with is not 1, but 2 Saber Guard Strike. Guard Strike is, again, a perfect backup card. If you've got absolutely nothing and your opponent's got a monster that's 2000 points strong and your only defense is the Dark Soul and it's destroyed, next turn you can bring out something that tops 2000 attack. Not only that, But if you have Guard Strike on the field and use the trap card, Gotham's Emergency Call, I'll show you later, you can go into some huge synchros from having absolutely nothing on the field apart from that trap. And the only other monster card in the deck is Morphine Jar. Morphine Jar is a completely fresh hand. You don't use him unless you absolutely have to. But not only that, he also allows for level 3 to level 5 to get out Naturia Beast. He's not the only monster that allows for that, but he's really good for that. He's not just a total waste once you've used him, because he's still Earth. And those extra 5 cards, getting cards into the grave and then getting a new hand to get cards like Ragged Gear to add any good cards that would have left you back into your hand, it's really useful. Moving on to spell cards, you've got the big 3, Monster Reborn, Heavy Storm, Dark Hole. Shouldn't really need to talk about those, they're pretty much staple. Only 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, not 2. There's actually quite a lot of spell and trap destruction in this deck, so you don't need more than that. Pot of Avarice, again, when you've milled out loads of cards using cards like Morphine Jar, or your Fault Trolls have died, get Fault Trolls back to your deck, get an extra 2 cards. I'd always recommend when you're using this card to try and leave as many different variations of tuner monsters and levels in your graveyard, so that you can go into something big, because a lot of cards revive, like Monster Reborn. Book of Moon, fairly good card on its own anyway, but if you use this alongside Full Helm Knight, in the battle phase, you attack something stronger, they're like, okay, I'll let the attack go through, you activate Book of Moon, their monster's set to defense, you get a revival of something that could even do more life point damage, like Boggart Knight. Creature Swap, you use Creature Swap primarily with cards such as Emma's Blade or Dark Soul, so that they take them, you destroy that monster, and then you get their effect. So if they've got a monster with, say, 2,000 attack or 3,000 attack, but it's the only monster they control, Creature Swap, give them Emma's Blade, your 3,000 point monster attacks Emma's Blade, and then you special summon out a monster. Mind Control, again, the same thing as Creature Swap, you get to take an opponent's monster, which, let's say if you're stuck with tuners on the field and you've only drawn out tuners, then you can go into some big synchros, and Mind Control's normally one to annoy your opponent. 1 Mirror Force, destroy all attacking monsters. 1 Torrential Tribute. Bottomless Trap Hole can stop some very big summons early on. I can't think of any specifics that you'd use it for, it's just a general trap. I like to have 1 Fiendish Chain in the deck. There's often cards that just have really pesky lockdown effects on the field that you want to negate their effects, so it's very good for that. Reinforced Truth. If you have this set, you wait for your opponent to end their turn, and then during their end phase you activate it. So you'll get Pashul to the field, which means you start your turn with a level 2 tuner. It's just an easy way to summon him out. Possibly the best trap card of the deck, Gotham's Emergency Call. If you have 1 X-Saber on your field, now this is what I was saying about, let's say you had that face down, and then you drew out Guard Strike, and you had a ton of, you would need to have at least 2 to special summon Guard Strike. You special summon Guard Strike, activate Emergency Call, you get back 2 X-Sabers that were in the grave. Suddenly, you've got a ton of synchro options there. So it's very good for that. And finally, in the trap zone is 2 Starlight Road, and I would always recommend having 2, because there's 2 Stardust Dragon in the extra deck. But not only that, big destruction cards like Dark Hole and Heavy Storm can really mess this deck up. It's important that you have that protection. Moving on to the extra deck, I have 1 rank 3 Xyz. I do actually have 2, but I'm thinking of replacing this with the level 5 X-Saber Wayne, which sounds ridiculous because this is clearly a better card, but just by X-Saber Wayne having the title X-Saber makes him really useful, plus his effects not too bad either. Normally you would summon out Wayne, summon out Full Helm Knight, and then go into Stardust Dragon. Level 4 Armory Arm is very possible with Ragura, and I've tried running without Armory Arm, and it's always the games when I don't have Armory Arm with me is the games when I need him. He's absolutely essential to the deck. Naturia Beast is pretty easy to get out and locks down lots of spellcaster decks, and spell counter decks are locked down very, very easily with Naturia Beast. And I have Justice Catasta, kind of speaks for itself, that one. 2 X-Saber High and Lee. You want 2 of these, you don't need more. And actually you can even afford to waste them because you can use cards like Ragigura to send them back to the extra deck. You can destroy up to 3 of your opponent's back row, but they can only be summoned by X-Sabers. But that's okay if you bring out something like Boggart Knight and Pashul, then that's a perfect use of Boggart Knight's effect. Flame Veil Eurocrasis is my other level 6. He does piercing damage, so that just covers piercing damage problems if they've got a defense that you can't get through Marshmallow or whatever. X-Saber Sauser, level 7, but again he can only be summoned by X-Saber monsters. His effects, he has 2. Once per turn you can tribute an X-Saber on your side of the field, or it's not even once per turn actually. You can tribute X-Sabers on your side of the field to either have him not be affected by traps or to destroy monsters with effects just like Catasta. Black Rose Dragon, the bomb card. Scrap Dragon, so you can ping anything that's troubling you out the way. Again, that's normally quite a good card. I always run 2 Stardust Dragon. If I have to summon one with Starlight Road, then I'll still want the second one out, because if you summon a Stardust Dragon by Starlight Road, you don't get its full effects. Colossal Fighter gets an extreme power up in this deck, just because of all the warrior type monsters. And then 1 Gotham's. I'm just going to show you really quickly the loop. Okay, so just to explain the Fault Troll loop really quickly, all you need on the field is a Gotham's and a Fault Troll either on the field or in the grave, Ragigura and a Fault Troll in your hand. And the way this works is you summon out, if it's on the field, you can use Gotham's effect straight away to ping it for one of their hand. If not, you summon Ragigura, you get Fault Troll to the hand, you bring out both of your Fault Trolls, use Gotham's to destroy Ragigura and 1 Fault Troll. That takes away another 2 cards from their hand. Fault Troll, revive Ragigura, add Fault Troll to hand, special summon. That Fault Troll has used its ability, so we can get rid of these 2. That's another 2 cards from the hand. Fault Troll revive, special summon, return to hand, special summon. Now that's used its ability, these 2, that's another 2 cards, and you just keep on going around, and you can loop out into the player's entire hand. Not only that, you're left with at least 1 monster with 3,100, and a monster with 2,400 on the field. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments.